Hello. Today we're having some Italian wine, more specifically Bolgheri from the Bolgheri region, which is sort of between Tuscany and the coast on the west side of Italy. So it's also known as a region. The kind of wine that's made there, it's also known as Super Tuscan. Although it's not really made in Tuscany, it's primarily in the Bolgheri region. And what the Super Tuscans are, it's kind of funny because they're not really, it's a Bordeaux blend basically made in Italy. It's got Cabernet, it's got Merlot, it's got Cabernet Franc, it's got Petit Verdot in varying mixes and doses. Some of them have even Sangiovese also with them. Some of them it's like 80% Sangiovese and a little bit of Cabernet. There are wines also in Italy, in that region, that are made out of 100% Syrah, 100% Merlot. Again, I don't know if those are necessarily called Super Tuscans, but the Super Tuscans are those Bordeaux blends that were started. That was started in Italy by a fellow in the late 70s, 80s, something like that, who developed this whole idea in that region. Actually, he just passed away a year or two ago. His name escapes me. Anyway, these are very, very good wines, very good quality for people who like the Bordeaux brand and have their own characteristics because it's in Italy, totally different terroir, totally different climate, and it's really on the hills, basically facing the Mediterranean Sea to the west. Anyway, this is called Il Seggio, made by Poggio al Tesoro. It's kind of interesting because I bought this wine at a tasting. I tasted it, I liked it, so I bought a few bottles. It's made by a very well-known Italian wine family, the Allegrinis, and the name is on the bottle. The Allegrinis are very well known for their wine in the Veneto region, northeast near Venice of Italy, primarily, Valpolicella and Corvino-based, grapes. They have a very, very good Amarone Classico. They make all sorts of wine there from like at all sorts of range of prices, and they're very well known under the brand of Allegrini. In the beginning of this century, they decided to expand. They've bought land in Brunello and developed a wine there. They've developed a wine in Bolgheri where they have several labels, different kind of quality, different blends. Some of these, these vines were older. They were like already 17, 18, 20 years old. Anyway, let's see what we have here. This one is pretty much 50% Merlot, which is interesting, 20% Cabernet Franc, 20% Cabernet Sauvignon, and 10% Petit Verdot. It's not an expensive bottle, it's middle of the range. 2016 was a very good year in Italy, everywhere you go. So they already have that working for them. The color here is a little deeper, this sort of than a Bordeaux, not a lot of brown in it, maybe because also of the age. But it's very clear. I don't know if this is filtered or not. It doesn't say, but it's very clear. There's no turbidity in it. The nose is fruit, primarily fruit. Red fruit, a little bit of minerality going through it, kind of that sort of flintiness. I'm expecting that we're gonna feel the Merlot. I've had this bottle since yesterday, so I have some opinion on it. I'm going to start by the finish. The finish is very nice, very long, acidic, kind of nice and stays with you really. I mean, it's a long finish. The attack is a little bit weak, but it doesn't really bother me because you make up for it later on. You do have the spiciness of the Merlot. There's a lot of Petit Verdot here. Don't forget, 10% is a pretty high number, and it is. You feel it maybe in the intensity. And then it's just, it's very nice. And this is the thing, this is the kind of wine you do taste it at a wine tasting. You like it right away, you say, I'm going to buy some. And I think you won't regret it. It's not something that you have to study for a long time. It's not something that you have to age a lot, because I'm sure this is good now, and it's going to be good for a few years, but you don't have to worry about saving it for 20 years. And I think some of the Italian Super Tuscans don't age as long as the Bordeaux. Maybe the vines are not as old. Maybe the aging is not done in as much new oak. There is an interesting minerality and flintiness in this, which I think adds to the interest. And it does turn out that the region where they are is run through a river, a very, very old river that carries a lot of ore, iron ore, through it and the ground around it. And I think you're going to see that in the vines. And over time, as these vines get a lot older, I think you're going to get a lot more of that mineral going through it, because this is still a new property. Anyway, cheers, and talk to you soon.